awareness. How to change and save the United States. Creating a truly equitable and just society requires a multifaceted approach that involves collective effort and commitment from individuals, communities, and institutions. Here are some specific tasks that can be undertaken. 1. Education. Education is a crucial tool for promoting understanding, empathy, and critical thinking. To create a more equitable society, we must promote education that is inclusive and culturally responsive, and that recognizes the contributions and perspectives of all individuals. This includes teaching history that is accurate and comprehensive, including the history of Native American peoples and the legacy of slavery and institutional racism. In addition, education should be accessible and affordable to all, regardless of background or socioeconomic status. 2. Addressing systemic biases. To create a more equitable society, we must acknowledge and address the systemic biases that exist in our institutions and systems. This includes addressing policies and practices that perpetuate inequality, such as discriminatory hiring practices or biased policing. It also requires a commitment to examining our own biases and working to change the systems that perpetuate inequality. 3. Advocacy and activism. Advocacy and activism are critical tools for promoting change and holding institutions and individuals accountable for their actions. This includes working to change laws and policies, engaging in public dialogue, and supporting movements and organizations that promote equity and justice. It also involves supporting the work of Indigenous-led organizations and movements that are fighting for justice, sovereignty, and reparations. 4. Cross-cultural dialogue and understanding. Engaging in cross-cultural dialogue and understanding is essential for promoting empathy, breaking down barriers, and building meaningful relationships with people from diverse backgrounds. This includes learning about the experiences and perspectives of others and working to build bridges across cultural divides. It also involves supporting programs and initiatives that bring together diverse communities for dialogue and collaboration. 5. Economic and social empowerment. Economic and social empowerment are key to promoting equity and justice. This includes providing access to resources, opportunities, and support for marginalized and underserved communities, as well as promoting policies and practices that promote economic and social mobility. It also involves addressing issues such as food insecurity, affordable housing, and healthcare access for all. 6. Healing and reconciliation. Healing and reconciliation are important for addressing the trauma and harm caused by historical injustices and promoting meaningful change. This includes acknowledging past wrongs, promoting accountability and reparations, and working to build relationships and trust between communities. It also includes supporting programs and initiatives that promote healing and reconciliation, such as Truth and Reconciliation Commissions and initiatives that provide reparations to Indigenous peoples. To address the issue of reparations, just sovereignty, and protection for Indigenous peoples, a detailed plan is needed that takes into account the unique needs and experiences of Native American communities. This plan should include provisions for reparations that provide tangible support to individuals and communities that have been harmed by historical injustices, such as access to healthcare, housing, education, and other resources. It should also include provisions for greater sovereignty and self-determination for Native American communities, including recognition of tribal sovereignty and rights to land and resources. Finally, it should include provisions for greater protection for Native American communities, including addressing issues such as violence against Indigenous women and girls, environmental degradation, and cultural preservation. Getting the government to initiate and enforce a plan to create a more equitable and just society will require a concerted effort from individuals, communities, and organizations. Here are some ways this can be accomplished. 1. Grassroots organizing. Grassroots organizing is a powerful way to mobilize communities and create pressure for change. This can include organizing protests, rallies, and other public actions, as well as using social media and other forms of outreach to build support for specific issues. 2. Advocacy and lobbying. Advocacy and lobbying are important tools for influencing policy at the local, state, and federal levels. This can include working with elected officials and policymakers to promote specific policies and initiatives, as well as engaging in public dialogue and education to build support for specific issues. 3. Building coalitions. Building coalitions with other organizations and groups can help to amplify voices and build support for specific issues. This can include working with other nonprofits, community organizations, and advocacy groups that share a common vision for a more equitable and just society. 4. Supporting Indigenous-led organizations and movements. Supporting Indigenous-led organizations and movements that are fighting for justice, sovereignty, and reparations is critical to creating meaningful change for Native American communities. This includes supporting Indigenous-led initiatives and movements, such as the Indigenous Environmental Network, Honor the Earth, and the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe. 5. Engaging in litigation. Engaging in litigation can be an effective tool for challenging unjust policies and practices and holding institutions accountable. This can include filing lawsuits, supporting legal challenges, and engaging in other legal strategies to promote equity and justice. Ultimately, creating a more equitable and just society will require collective action and sustained effort over time. It will also require a commitment to ongoing learning, growth, and action on the part of individuals, communities, and institutions. By engaging in these efforts, we can work towards a future that is more equitable, just, and inclusive for all people.